All right, kids, welcome back to the shop. Today we are working on a Poulan Pro blower. So the problem we have is, see way down in here? The lines are busted off. I think I have it here somewhere. So the other day I went to try to use it and look what happened. My hose cracked. I hate when that happens. So let's tear this thing apart and see what we're in for. I ended up, I went on my favorite place, Amazon, and ordered new hoses. So I got, I think, 3 different hoses, size hoses, filters, this filter, and some balls.
This process is the same for most blowers. I removed the air cleaner cover. I removed the air cleaner. Now I have to remove the air cleaner housing. Like I said, this process is the same for most blowers. It's hard to see here, but there's 2 lines. One is an intake line that brings the fuel into the carburetor. The other one is a return line. Obviously, it returns the fuel back to the fuel tank. So I'm going to replace both of them. I couldn't get the exact same size hoses. One's small, one's big. And these are broke. So I'm going to have to do some experiment here to see which is the intake and which is the return line. Also, this is kind of fiddly because the lines are a little bit too big. So there's tiny little holes in this tank that I have to push the hoses through. Also, there's a coupler at the end of the big hose that is a union between the tank and the hose. I wasn't able to use that. I don't recommend doing that because you might have a leak. Make sure that you use all factory parts. This is a real pain. Remember, I said these hoses are a little bit bigger than the original. So I just have to kind of force this down in here 1 millimeter at a time. And now, if you look in here, you see how the little stub's sticking down? I have to do now is grab a pair of needle nose pliers and give that a tug.
All right, that was a pain in the neck. Let's get this thing cut straight. See how I cut that at an angle to get it through there? Okay. Let's get a filter on.
So I can't get the filter on. At this point, I should have realized there was a problem. This is actually the return line. So the bigger line is the intake. I continue on with the process. I install the filter, and now remember, on the filter line, it has to be long enough so the filter goes all the way down into the fuel tank. Now the return line, it only has to go deep enough into the tank to return the fuel. Kind of makes sense, right?
This is a real pain in the neck. What I have to do is just take the pliers and just push down a little bit at a time. Now this is the return line.
I get the 2 lines installed. I put the fuel cap on, and then I check it, and I realize that I have the hoses backwards.
Okay, guys, so I had it backwards. This big one is the intake, so I had to rerun it. No big deal. Remember, I said this was all the lines were broke, so I put that big one in place. I took the filter off of the little one, put it on the big one, gave it a couple pumps,
and the gas was flowing. So now let's get this thing assembled. This is a pain in the neck to put back together.
Well, there you go, guys. That thing run great. I ran it another probably 45 minutes, and it ran like a champ. This is the best it's run since I think I got it. So that fuel line's probably been plaguing me for a long time. So there you go. Leave some comments. Let me know what you think. Another successful resurrection from the underground. Thanks for watching. Please subscribe.